This is Joe from Complete Carnivore, and what I have here is a piece of grass-fed beef from the Rib Primal. This is from Pursuit Farms. I've done a few other videos on some stuff from Pursuit Farms, but that's been some Japanese A5 Wagyu. They recently started working with a ranch up in Montana. They've been selling it for a long time in the restaurant, I believe, but they're just putting it out to retail now. Yeah, grass-fed beef from Montana. Supposedly, it doesn't have the same gaminess or mineraliness you get with a lot of grass-fed. I've had some really great grass-fed steaks. I've had some really horrible tasting grass-fed steaks. It tastes like swamp water. But supposedly these are delicious. We're going to cut them up into some steaks and see how they taste. I did some trimming here. There was quite a bit of silver skin on top and some other stuff I just trimmed off. But I think we want some, I don't know, you think that's about a good width for a steak? Yeah, let me get my slicing knife. Let me get my bigger knife. This is the Dalstrong 10-inch bullnose butcher knife, and I think it's great for stuff like this. So let's cut one of these and we'll see how the marbling is. You can see it's a lot smaller than a normal ribeye. A normal ribeye would probably be about that wide, but these are quite a bit narrower. For grass-fed, this is a decent amount of marbling. Of course, grass-fed usually has less intermuscular fat than grain-fed. But you usually get a much more intense flavor, much stronger flavor. So we're going to cut, I don't know, 4, maybe 5 of these out and see what we have left. I want to leave a chunk to cook some other night, but we'll see. I might cook them all tonight. We'll see. See how I'm feeling pretty hungry, so let's see what we get here. This was about a 4.5 pound piece of meat. So how big are each of these going to be? These are going to be less than a pound, probably about 12 ounces each. Yeah, it looks like we'll get 5 of them out of here. We'll just go ahead and cut all 5. So again, this is some pretty good marbling for a piece of grass-fed meat. I'm looking forward to eating these. We're going to cook them on the Kudu Grill. It's a kind of an open fire, open charcoal grill, and I'll show you that in a bit. But we're going to get the grill lit, get these salted, and I'll be back in a bit. Okay, we're out at the Kudu Grill. I have some Jealous Devil lump charcoal down there. This stuff gets pretty hot. I'm also using a couple charcoal baskets. Couple things I found using the Kudu Grill is if you just have charcoal in the bottom, unless you have a lot of it, it doesn't really get super hot, even with the grate all the way down. So I wanted to kind of just hold the charcoal in place, raise it up a bit. So that's why I'm using the baskets. Also, got the cast iron pan up here, got some asparagus going and some butter, and that'll just cook away while the steaks are cooking. And hopefully everything will be done at the right time. Nice thing about this, you can just slide this over the heat. If you want more heat, slide it off. If you want a little less, if you want to get to the steaks. If this gets hot, you can just slide this grill out of the way. You can raise them up. Little knobs there to tighten them up, tighten them down, lower them down, whatever you need to do. But enough of that. Let's get the steaks on. Again, look at these beauties. These look wonderful. We're going to put them on. We're going to flip them a lot. We're going to change around positions. We're going to do everything we can to get these to cook nice and even. So they weren't all fit perfectly over those coals, but we'll get them good enough. And like I said, we're flipping them, going to be flipping them so much and moving them around that it will all cook nice and even as we go. As far as heat, I mean, I could put my hand here for about that long. So it's not blazing hot, but it's not a cool grill either. So we'll flip them around. We want to get these about 125. Don't want to go too much more than that, especially with grass-fed. So we'll flip them. I mean, they're starting to get a little bit of color. Nowhere near done. Like I said, we'll flip these probably 20-30 times by the time we're all done with it. Hopefully these take somewhere around 8 to 10 minutes. Again, if one of them starts getting too hot, we can just move it over to the back of the grill. We can slide the whole thing off if we're getting flare-ups or anything like that. Shouldn't have too many flare-ups. Like I said, these are fairly lean steaks. For grass-fed, they have a great amount of marbling, but compared to like a prime ribeye or something, it's not that much. So we'll take a break here and we'll come back in a few minutes and we'll show you what these look like after a few more flips. And we'll check on the asparagus too. Might need to lower this down, get some more heat on it, See how it's going. But yeah, this is my first time using the cast iron pan up here to do vegetables or something like that. So we'll come back a few minutes, check on these, and see how they are. All right, we're back. It's been a few minutes. Flip these a few more times. If I was doing this on one of my Weber kettles or my PK even, I would probably reverse sear them, or cut them a little bit thicker, and reverse sear them, where you cook them low till they're about 120 degrees. Then you get the coals as hot as you can, dump a whole, I usually dump another chimney load in, and then sear them off. With the Kudu, it's more of a direct cook, so I want to just flip them often. For years, people said only flip your steaks once. That, I think, is horrible advice. You can see we're starting to get some nice color on these. As you flip, I think it helps give you a more even cook throughout. Because right now, the bottom of these steaks are getting blasted with heat. It's just, it's blasting the heat. So the first few millimeters of the steak or so are collecting a ton of heat. Eventually that goes into the middle of the steak. As you flip it, some of that heat dissipates up. So you get a more even done middle, and there's not a lot of gray band around the outside. So hopefully, if I do this right, we'll see that when we cut it. I want to start checking some temperatures here and seeing where we're at. Again, I want to go to about probably 120, 125. We're getting close. Once we get to about 115 or so, I'm going to lower the grate down right above the coals and get as good a sear on these as I can. This one here is the thickest, so that's probably going to be the lowest. So yeah, we're looking 90, 95 on most of these. So a few more flips and then we'll be ready to sear, and I'll be back for that part. All right, so these ones here, these ones in the back here are pretty much the temperature I want them. These ones here, we're getting, oh, let me get a better reading than that. Where are we at? That's not right. Yeah, we're getting to where we need to be. This one here. Okay, it's time to sear. Let's lower this thing down and crank as much heat as we can onto these steaks and get them some color. So we'll do a few at a time just so we can get the most heat on these. That right there is starting to get some good color. That's what we want. That one looks beautiful. This one's getting there. We'll bring these over and sear them off in a minute here. But we want a nice crust. I don't want charred. I don't want too much black, like you see a little bit right there. I don't like that. I think it ends up being bitter. So once again, we'll flip these often. I'll check the temps here in a bit and see how they are. I think this side needs more. It's gonna get smokier. It's gonna get a little more flames probably, but that's kind of what we want. So let me grab my thermometer again. See what we got. Yeah, 96, 97, that'll get up there. That one's a little bit warmer, that one's about 110. This one's getting close to being done. I'm trying to find a spot that's a little cooler if there is any. So yeah, that one's done. We want to get this one off. I'd rather have it be the right temperature inside than the sear on the outside. So let's flip these. And that's a good enough sear. That's enough color on it. Bring one of these back and put it here, but we'll keep searing these off and I'll show you the finished product here in a few minutes. We'll slice them up, we'll taste them, and see how this grass-fed ribeye from Pursuit Farms is. Let's grab one of these, cut into it. Let's see how these taste, see how it looks. Here's a moment. See, look at that. Very little gray around the edge, great color in the middle. Smelling it, smells like beef. Smells different than a normal ribeye would smell. And now, oh, that's a beautiful piece of meat. You can see these are very juicy still. You can still see quite a bit of juice within that meat. So that's wonderful. Let's taste this, see what we got. Wow. It definitely has a different flavor than you would get from standard USDA Prime or Choice or anything like that. It doesn't have any of that weird minerally taste, or it's not super gamey that you get sometimes from grass-fed. It just has a wonderful flavor. I'm very impressed with this for grass-fed beef. It's some of the best grass-fed beef I've had. Pursuit Farms sells, you can buy the whole primal, ribeye primal here. Like I said, this one is about a 4.5 pound one. They sell, the whole ones are 12 to 13 pounds, and I think they're right around $300. So you're looking, I don't know, 25 bucks a pound or so, which is expensive for steak. For high quality grass-fed steak, it's a pretty decent price. If you look at what you'd pay at Whole Foods or somewhere like that, it's pretty much on par with that. So, and this is better than anything I've ever had from Whole Foods. So if you're looking for grass-fed beef, check out Pursuit Farms. Like I said, they also sell really great, amazing A5 Wagyu. I've had some of that. I got some flank and flap meat and skirt steak. Most places that sell A5, you won't find those cuts. Usually just find ribeye, New York strip, fillets. But they sell some of the other butcher's cuts too. So, I mean, if you look at this pan here, I haven't cut any of these. This is just juice coming out of the meat. That's a ton of juice there. I'll definitely pour that over the potatoes or rice that we eat, and pour it over the meat. So I'm impressed with this. It's good stuff. Pursuit Farms, go check them out. There's a link in the description here. And thanks for watching.